Hey, everybody. My name's Katie Yagodnik. I am your host today and the current director of CS operations and digital programs here at Totango. Thanks so much for joining us. So what I think is really exciting about everyone that has joined the call today is we've got about 75% of those that have joined that do have some type of formalized post-sale operations. We've got about 15% that are working on that headcount. And then the rest haven't gotten there quite yet, but hopefully this will give you some ideas about how customer success operations can transform your organizations and your results in the future. Really what I'm going to start with is the current climate that we're in and what many of the customer success leaders, we talk to them obviously every day. In addition to that, in our cab, what are they saying and what are they worried about? I mean, overall, in the current climate that we have, many people are seeing a decreased amount of revenue for their acquisition business. But most of our customers are really worried about a few things. One of them being understanding risk and trying to control churn. They're trying to ensure that they can generate revenue from their existing customers and really activate a digital engagement model to be able to make their teams more efficient. And then in addition to that, they're really trying to transform the way that customer success and trying to provide proactivity and action at scale for the rest of the organization. So with that being said, when you really think about trying to unlock business growth, all of these initiatives post-sale need to be taking place. And who better than to lead the charge when it comes to post-sales operations than an operational team that is focused on operational efficiencies and excellence for the post-sale. Because when you really take a look at it, 80% of the net revenue that companies generate is from your customer base. And what is really interesting as we have dove into this is even though your revenue is coming from your customer base, many organizations are still prioritizing acquisition over retention. And you think about it, when that customer churns, not only do you lose the customer, the revenue that you had, but you lose any opportunity to be able to increase revenue in the future. We know that acquiring customers is expensive, and really customers spend 67% more than those that are just beginning with you. So to unlock that business growth, you really need to lean into your customers more than ever, and to ensure that you're helping them drive measurable business results. Because people that are getting measurable results are likely to stay 6 times longer. And not only that, but they're going to spend more. And that's really what your C-suite is scrutinizing at this time. We need to bring in more revenue. We need to increase that revenue, and so forth. So again, going back to operations, and just a question that I was on a podcast a couple weeks ago with one of my favorites, Greg Danes, and he asked a really interesting question. And his question really centered around the fact that we are all trying to sell our customers a service or a technology to help drive better results. And so the question that really resonated with me is posed right here. Those customers that we are trying to help drive better results for, what is their propensity to change in ways that produce better results? And I ask this to all of you as both an internal and an external question. And I say that because change has to happen internally and externally to be able to transform your organization to the next level. And to be able to do that, you really need a change agent. And I look at post-sales operational excellence, and those change agents as those that are in the customer success operations field. And that's why I've invited 3 change agents today that are helping their teams and customers change their behaviors to drive better results in the post-sale. They're really the secret weapons for their respective organizations. So starting with Christina, if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, CS operations and how it functions in your organization, and the top challenges and or opportunities post-sale this year that your organization was facing, and I'll hand it over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Katie. So my name's Christina. I work for a company called CDK Global. They service largely automotive dealerships. And over the course of the past few years, they've acquired lots and lots of smaller businesses. So it's kind of a melting pot of a bunch of different automotive like dealership solutions under one roof. I personally have been working in customer success for about 7 or so years. I started as a customer success manager. I've led customer success teams. And then I entered into operations a couple of years ago and have really found that to be kind of my niche, either way. Among the challenges that we face at CDK, we have our own customer success operations team. So we do have a full team that is servicing the customer success management organization. And as we've acquired all of these companies, we've found data visibility to be one of the chief challenges, understanding basic contract information from a multitude of different systems and processes and stuff. So I would say that letting a CSM or giving them the opportunity to like quickly understand what is available to their customer has been, I think, our number one challenge so far. Oh, and I'll pass to Mariana.
I'm Mariana Lynch. I'm one of the leaders on the customer success team at ACA Group. We're an organization that focuses on governance, risk, and compliance through different products and services. A little bit about me, I've been with ACA for about a year now, a little over a year now. And before this, I actually worked at Totango after an almost 10-year tenure in a dual product firm in the compliance space. It's actually kind of interesting because currently at ACA, we don't have a designated person in the actual CS ops role. So part of my job is contributing to that operational function alongside our CS director. I'd say one of our largest ops items that we focused on this year, which to me was both an opportunity and a challenge, was mapping and building out our entire post-go live customer journey. And I'll actually explain a little bit more about why that was our top goal at the beginning of this year. But before I do that, I'll turn it over to Claire.
Hi, everyone. So happy to be here and so happy to be here with Christina and Mariana. So thanks, Mariana. But my name is Claire. I'm the manager of digital growth and operations at Sezzle. And I also have a background as a CSM, also in sales. And I joined Sezzle a little over a year ago to manage operations for our SMB mid-market merchant revenue team. So specifically, I manage operations for our CS team, and I oversee all the automated communication to our merchants, which includes our digital merchant base. And if you aren't familiar with Sezzle, we are a buy now, pay later company with the mission to financially empower the next generation. And this past year, with me being in this role a little over a year, I'd say our top focus has been really understanding our merchant base and focusing on answering questions like, which of our merchants should be managed by a CSM, and what does it mean to be a healthy merchant and an unhealthy merchant, and how do we tier and prioritize our merchant base. So similar to what some of the others on the call so far have said, really it's about understanding and starting with our data and our data visibility. And specifically for us, this is getting that accurate, important data into Totango, so then we can build out all these other processes and focus on all the outcomes that our team wants to achieve. So I'll be talking about that, of course, today, but really excited to be here and to share that with you all.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, everybody, for giving us an insight into your background. I'm hoping, and I know myself, identify with so many of the things that you've already mentioned already. I'd say overall, Totango is really helping our customers focus in and drive measurable results on 6 different business outcomes. Those particular business outcomes are helping our customers to prevent churn, increase revenue growth, boost team efficiency, enhance data visibility, which we just touched a little bit on, improve customer health, and then overall build customer loyalty. So with that being said, hopefully you don't mind kicking us off again, Christina, letting us know and giving us a little bit insight into what are those business outcomes that you are driving, leveraging Totango, and any of the results that you have seen so far. And I'll hand it back over to you.
So as I mentioned, data visibility was one of the kind of biggest hurdles for the team this year. CDK has a lot to offer a dealership, and for a customer success manager, understanding how those items can produce a business outcome for their customer at the dealership could have been a challenge if you didn't really know what they have. And so one of the first kind of outcomes that Totango was able to provide for our team, through some creative solutioning from our BizOps side, we were able to expose which of our core 4 products any given dealership has. And then we even feed that information back into Salesforce so that the sales team can see it. And sounds interesting, but this really is the first time that our sales team and our CS team has been able to see, like at a glance, what of these core 4 products does this dealership have, so that they can very easily guide a conversation about how the CDK tech stack can help that dealership meet their particular business outcomes. So I would say that's kind of our biggest win so far with Totango this year. As we kind of make our way into a new engagement model where the customer success managers are focusing less on an individual product that they may have worked at prior to it being acquired, they're now focusing on the full stack. Totango will be imperative in that moving forward. It's becoming the main platform for the customer success managers to kind of log and track all of their activities and tasks as it relates to the various dealerships. And it's also giving them some insight into understanding kind of how all of these different dealerships roll up into a group forum. When should I log things? On what level? So we're in kind of an early phase of the rollout to the customer success managers, but I can say that them being able to find their customer, to know who their customers are, and to very quickly see what of those 4 core products are available to the customer has certainly been a game changer.
Awesome. Thanks so much.
Mhm.
Mariana.
So, like I said here for us at ACA, we were kind of shifting our mindset, right? Like what we were doing before as a CS team is not what we were going to be doing in the new era of end of 2022, beginning of 2023. So for us, one of the outcomes we focused on is efficiency and also time savings wrapped into that. Originally, as I mentioned, our customer success team was responsible for onboarding, and that would be moved to our professional services team. And our mandate would really shift for our team to mostly post-go live interactions, which is obviously what a lot of the teams are doing out there. But truly think about that, right? Put yourself in our shoes. We were at a juncture where we had to reevaluate and revamp what the day-to-day would look like for our CSMs, right? That's a huge mindset, like a huge mind shift, huge mindset of what's going on. And we needed to build out what we envisioned that post-go live journey would really look like for our customers and for our CSMs. And as Christina mentioned, data is king, right? Number one thing is you got to clean up your data. And we had worked initially, even before I got here, we had worked really hard to get our data cleaned up. And we had what we needed in Totango to analyze our customers. Items such as different segmentations, looking past segmentation based on contract value and looking at specific use cases and patterns that we were seeing. Brainstorming different approaches, whether that be a high touch model, adding some digital where we needed it and needed some assistance, or hybrid model if that worked best. And ultimately that allowed us to build and roll out workflows that help increase our efficiency on a day-to-day basis. It really helps us target our customers with the right message at the right time, allowing our CSM team to be more structured in this new model. And really it helped us approach our customers in a more tailored way. Our product is multi-module. So one of my customers might have 2 modules, some of them might have 8. So I think being able to use Totango to really have a tailored approach was key for us. And then, of course, I'm a true believer that once you have that customer journey mapped out and you're leveraging that automation through Totango, you start to see glimpses of time savings. Your team's able to do more with less. You have more time with your ops team to reanalyze and reiterate on processes, and hopefully that makes you more efficient every day. And then before I pass it on to Claire, I'll just leave it with one thing, because I'm in the thick of it, but I don't have that ops role. I'm a hybrid. That I think the biggest takeaway for us is that you can have the CS tool and you can have those power admin users that really know how to use it to the best of their ability. But you need those CS ops individuals, right? You need those CS ops minded people like Christina, like Claire, and like Katie to truly elevate your CS team. So that for me is the number. If you take anything away from what I'm saying, that's the number one thing. And then I'll pass it on to Claire.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, so I would definitely piggyback off of both of y'all. And I did talk about this a little bit earlier, but the data visibility piece being so key to any operational process or other goals that you want to achieve for your team. So kind of when I was looking at that list, it really seems like it's a consistent like loop, data visibility that is then pushing towards those other outcomes. So I think that's really important from the operational standpoint of things. So one thing that I did focus on this year outside of, understanding our merchant base first, was then focusing on our onboarding process for our merchants. So for us, this was actually two processes. One was the high touch onboarding, which was powered by Totango with our tasks and automation, but executed by our CSMs, and then our digital onboarding process, which is powered by Totango campaigns and self-service resources for our merchants. And overall, we wanted to provide our merchants with a consistent experience appropriate to their tier and ultimately improve the percentage of merchants going live with us. So that was something that when looking at our data and looking at our merchants, that we noticed that we would have merchants that signed up with us that just wouldn't get to going live with us. They wouldn't get to their first order. So for our digital merchants, Totango has really helped us and enabled us to customize their onboarding journey based on different data triggers, where they are in that process, which then helps us customize their onboarding experience. So they're really getting the correct messaging at the correct time so that they know what to do. They're getting those resources right when they need them. And actually, year over year, I pulled the data this morning, we've actually seen that the percentage of merchants going live within the first 90 days of this program has increased by 20% compared to the same time last year. So that was a big goal for us, and something that we can kind of point to, that churn reduction piece of more merchants are going live. We're not losing them in the onboarding process. And then outside of this, we also saw an increase in engagement metrics. So we built out a bunch of wonderful videos that our merchants can watch to help them self-service their onboarding. We've seen those video views be consistently high since we've launched them. We also added them into our product so that it's reinforced there, as well as engagement metrics like logins. And then hand in hand with this, we've also seen that our onboarding related support tickets have been consistently lower since we introduced things like the videos, and then of course the onboarding emails from Totango. And then with our high touch process, this is just providing our merchants with the best possible experience right from the beginning. So we want them to have an amazing experience with our sales team. And then we want that to be seamless into CS taking that over. And then that can really help our CSMs from the beginning. They understand what our customers' goals are. We have a kickoff call right away. We're consistently checking in with them, and it's really that white glove service. And then knowing their goals, knowing what they're hoping to achieve, that allows us to focus on these other goals like retention, expansion, and customer loyalty as they're managed throughout the journey. So that's been a huge, huge project for us, and excited to kind of see those results, but also, always iterating and improving on these things.
Fantastic. So, I heard multiple outcomes that we're helping you to achieve, everything from preventing churn, boosting team efficiency, enhanced data visibility, increasing customer loyalty. And all of that had to start with change and someone transformatively in the organization moving the business in a way that's different to produce better results. So I commend all of you for what you have done so far. And part of change and change management in an organization is collaboration with your counterparts. So I'd love to hear from you. Any one of you can start first on how you're collaborating with other parts of the business to move that business result in the right direction.
I can hop in, and this is probably very obvious because, in CS Ops, I feel like we collaborate with so many different teams across the organization. But just starting within the CS org, I think the collaboration between the CS Ops function and the CS leader is just so critical and so important and so wonderful. So yeah, like I said, it's like when I look at those outcomes that we talk about, every CS organization and every CS leader wants to achieve those things for their team or improve those things for their team. But the CS ops person is really the person to say, okay, we want to do this. Like, how can we do this? And let's dig into this and improve on this. So it's really like that partnership and that puzzle piece, I feel, that goes together to achieving those goals for the team. So I would just say that. And then outside of that, I've been able to work, especially with this like digital onboarding project that I took on. It was really amazing to be able to work with our marketing team, video marketing, email marketing, support. And of course, we all talked about data visibility, our engineers, that's a very important relationship and, super important to the CS ops function. So.
Awesome. Thanks, Claire. Anybody else want to chime in there?
So I guess same with Claire. I was going to say, being on the other side, right? Being the person who would love to have a Claire to be able to speak to about all of this. Like, obviously, like us going, me and my director going back to our CSMs and being like, what's working, what's not working, right? I think it's so imperative. Like, you can sit in a room with the leader and the CS ops and think what's working, but like they're the boots on the ground, right? So going back to the team internally and being like, is this working? Where can we iterate? We have a multi-module product, like I said. So bringing usage into Totango is like such a feat, right? So we work with our engineers, like Claire said, all the time to bring in more usage. So we have more visibility into how our different customers are using our different modules. We actually, since onboarding's moved off of our team to professional services, that newly created team, we work hand in hand with them, actually trying to get them to also join the Totango fleet so that we can all be using the same platform. But we obviously collaborate with them all the time throughout the onboarding process and then during go live. And then finally for us, product, right? We our team is really great at doing releases and quick tip automation for our customers and setting out campaigns to let you guys know what's happening in our product. And we work hand on hand with our product team to make sure, we're including all the right things. So yeah, that's kind of the collaboration on our side of the house.
I think that the personality types and just like how our brains function, when you are a customer facing, like customer engagement person, you have this very like engagement driven mind. You know exactly what a customer needs. You have like a big heart for them, like their needs are your needs. And then for me as an operations person, my brain is telling me to never engage with humans ever. And so I think that it's the middle ground there that helps you create a process that is meeting your customers' needs, but also helping your CSM alleviate some of the noise so that they're only engaging where it's value driving. So that's my little tidbit about like the personalities being so different, but so perfect for each other. And then I would say sales ops, in terms of teams that you really should collaborate with and have a good relationship with. Given that sales ops is who kind of sets up the foundation of data, they're the ones that put in our contract details and are the ones having the initial conversations with customers about why they're buying this product. And all of that information is so valuable, but sometimes they're not going to build it in a way that's going to be helpful for the post-sales world. And so kind of building that bridge between your pre-sale and sales ops operations functions and your post-sales operation functions, I think are paramount, because your life will be so much easier if in the beginning of a customer's journey, all of that data gets set up for you. So
couldn't agree more with all of the sentiments there. Thank you, ladies. I know that we're wrapping up here on time. I can't even believe it. That's gone so quickly. A couple of things that I just wanted to share, which is, what does customer success operations look like in 2024? So a couple of the things that I think about, and just talking to many of our customers and just seeing how many people have already invested in making sure you have that operational person to think about the strategy, deploy the strategy, iterate the strategy, and make sure all business units and parts of the business are working around that particular strategy. I think more organizations are finally understanding that leaning into your customers and investing in operational excellence is the way of the future and to be growing revenue. And I say that too, because we have so many customers coming to us saying, hey, you've got have any recommendations for people that have operationally minded customer success. So I've been really excited to see that. As you know, many mentioned, Christina, Claire, Mariana mentioned, to post sales, we need the data to make data-driven decisions. And our customers, myself being a customer of many things included, are really wanting a more personalized and relevant experience. We want to be talked to when it's right, when it's relevant. And so I find that that is something, especially with many going into that whole digital and leveraging the data to be able to do and deploy those types of experiences at scale. It's just going to continue to ramp up. The rise of AI. I mean, everywhere I look, someone is talking about AI. But here's the thing, unless you are investing and you're having people invest in making sure your data is accurate, how are you going to successfully leverage AI? Because AI is only as good as the data that it is reading. So I think making sure you have that person, and especially on the post-sale, that the data is accurate, it's definitely going to be paramount. And then another thing that has just come to mind, and I feel like sales operations and sales has it buttoned up, and marketing operations have it buttoned up. They've been around for a while, and it's time for CS Ops to employ the same type of operational rigor and attribution to our post-sales efforts that the pre-sales has developed, because we want to make sure that our impact is recognized and the value that we're driving for the organization is recognized. So how many opportunities are you providing post-sale to your sales team? How many customers are you removing from risk? Those are all things that we have to put hard numbers to and really move away from the soft numbers. So those are sort of the things that I am seeing and hearing and reading as for the future of CS operations. And with that, I wish all of you a safe and happy holiday season and a very happy new year going into 2024. Take care.